Here are 3 EB-1A profile building opportunities for software engineers. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jason, and I share profile building insights for those of you who are working towards EB-1A. I've spoken to hundreds of profile builders, and my insights come from working with top immigration lawyers and also from my experiences in tech. So here's how I would approach these 3 EB-1A profile building opportunities and how I would try to land judging, possibly even authorship, and membership opportunities from these opportunities. The first opportunity I will be covering is PyTorch Conference 2025. So this is a conference that will be happening in October of this year, and I'm just going to approach this opportunity from the perspective of someone who is profile building towards EB-1A. So the first thing I would look for is a proposal submission button. So there is a clear call for proposals. So this is definitely something you want to look for whenever you are looking at a profile building opportunity. So it seems like they have a bunch of submission types. You'll probably want to pick 1 or 2, or depending on how many they allow you to pick, and submit something to get considered as a speaker for this opportunity. But you shouldn't really just stop there. You shouldn't just submit a proposal and wait to hear back. Something else you could also be doing, and this goes for any type of profile building opportunity, is you could start reaching out to some of the people who are involved in this particular opportunity, in this case a conference. So something I tend to look for when it comes to conferences is conference committees. I want to find the people who may be able to give me more information about what this conference is looking for, and possibly even get me considered, because you want to get noticed. For a lot of top conferences, they get a lot of submissions, and sometimes you might not get considered simply because your submission was not properly reviewed. I mean, I'm not saying that a lot of conferences don't have organized processes. They do, but you want to be doing a lot more than just apply. You want to actually get noticed. You want to get the right people to vouch for you. And what better people to vouch for you for a particular conference than the people organizing the conference? So that's why you want to look at conference committees. And as you can see here, there are quite a few people listed here. You probably want to reach out to some of them to start a conversation. And you can find them on LinkedIn, you can find their emails, and you can just reach out to them and ask if it might be possible to have a conversation about the upcoming conference, about what kinds of experts they're looking for, or what kinds of submissions they're looking for in their call for proposals. That's just something you can do to show initiative, to show that you really want to participate in the conference and you want to help grow that conference potentially. It's something that could then even land you a committee position. I have spoken to people in the past who have been able to land committee positions simply by reaching out to the conference chairs. So that's something else you could potentially get from this profile building opportunity. Not just the opportunity to speak, but also the opportunity to join their committees or even just volunteer to help organize the next iteration of this conference. So that's PyTorch Conference 2025. The next opportunity is SciPy 2025. This is a conference that's happening in July of this year. And given that it is happening quite soon, their call for speakers is probably, so it's still open, June 12th. So you're still able to submit a proposal for this conference. But again, you don't want to just submit a proposal and just kind of wait around to hear back. You want to be actively, again, reaching out to the kinds of people who are already involved in this conference. So what you can do here is you can look for these people. So there does not seem to be I'm just approaching this from the perspective of someone who is just seeing this opportunity for the first time, because this is the perspective that is probably going to be most useful. But going back to this, looks like we were able to find organizing committee members. Their names are listed here. So again, you can just reach out to some of these people. You probably want to reach out to the conference co-chairs, program chairs, just people who are involved in general, to again start a conversation to see if you can get noticed and get your proposal noticed, because that is what it's really all about. It's about getting noticed. That is what you want to be thinking about when going for profile building opportunities that are highly sought after. You can also reach out to people who have spoken at previous iterations of this conference. So you can go on LinkedIn, for instance, and search SciPy and see if you find people who have been involved in a conference in the past, because they may already have those connections. And if you're involved in your field already, you may already know people who may know people who are involved in this conference. And this goes for not just this opportunity specifically, but all kinds of other opportunities as well that are similar. The third opportunity is Cascadia JS. This is another upcoming conference in September of this year. This conference seems to get a lot of industry attention, so it is definitely the kind of conference you want to be participating in. And it's good they have a media kit as well, because that always gives you insight into the audience of the conference, into the kinds of people they reach. So that's something else to look into. But again, I'm looking for a call for speakers. So if I look at Cascadia JS 2025, looks like there is an apply to speak. It looks like the call for proposals is closed, but you can still see if you can get involved, not just as a speaker, but as a volunteer. That is something you should not rule out for any sort of conference that has a closed call for speakers. You don't have to speak at a conference to get involved. It is possible to actually attend these conferences as a volunteer or as just an attendee and get to meet some very top professionals in your field. And that can help with profile building opportunities as well. So based on this, it looks like there are volunteers involved in this conference. So something you'll want to do is reach out to some of these people who are listed here to see if you can get involved in potentially helping organize the conference or just volunteering to help in any way possible, because that is how you get noticed by top professionals in your field. You have to surround yourself with these top professionals and start conversations. So those are just 3 EB-1A profile building opportunities that you want to look into as a software engineer. These are upcoming conferences that you will want to get involved with if you are working towards EB-1A, because these are the kinds of conferences you want to be participating in to meet more top professionals who can then refer you to judging, authorship, and membership opportunities.